Welcome back, everyone, to the Daily Trump News. Some great news coming out of the White House and some less good news coming out of Oregon, but we're here to talk about it all. So let's get started. First of all, some great news coming out of the White House. Since the tariffs have been put in effect, President Trump has gotten over 75 countries that reached out to him saying they want to negotiate a deal. The United States is the biggest factor in worldwide trade, and so of course these countries want to make a deal making sure that they can still export their goods without tariffs to the United States. Because of this, President Trump has put a 90-day pause on all reciprocal tariffs except for the 10% standard tariff and a tariff on China, which went up to 125%. This is great news, and this will make sure that countries will be able to make a deal and not have to suffer from the tariffs as much. And we saw it immediately. The stock market, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 all shot up today by 9 to 12%. This is great because people have some more predictability about where the future is going to lead us and how the stock market replies to this. Furthermore, President Trump signed a new executive order bringing back a revival to shipbuilding. The United States used to be one of the biggest manufacturers of military ships for the Navy, but this has gone downhill, and China has been taking over, building their army like crazy. And so President Trump wants to bring back the United States as the major military superpower in the world. This executive order will bring more emergency and attention to making sure that we keep building ships and making sure our military is strong to keep this country safe. And then finally, some less good news in Oregon here. The Senate has passed a bill which makes it a lot harder for inappropriate pornographic school books to be banned. They want to bring more power to education, to teachers, and to people working in schools than to parents. Of course, this is completely flipped around, and parents are the most important factor in how a kid grows up and about their education. And also, the Oregon legislative branch has been working on bringing in two bills which would make it way harder for people to be able to own guns. They want to make it more difficult for people to own guns and for licensed gun dealers to make it more difficult to sell guns. This is terrible, and this is going completely against the Constitution and the Second Amendment. Let's hope this bill does not get passed. We'll see. Make sure you raise attention about this to all your family and friends because we got to start here local and not only rely on the federal because we never know how much we'll notice of everything that the president is doing when Oregonian governor and the legislative branch is doing all this crap. This is the Daily Trump News keeping you up to speed on everything that the White House is doing. God bless.